This episode is brought to you by... Jesus. This episode...
What the hell was that?
Brought to you by Strokes. My episode is brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero. God. Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Okay.
We've been rolling.
Welcome to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. I'm here with co-host
Stan Morcini.
Watson Bradshaw.
and I'm obviously Chad Cook. Oh man, boys, it's been 2 weeks, three. I don't know.
Almost three, yeah.
Three, almost. Yeah.
Almost three, yeah.
The end of January.
Yes, yeah.
We got to see some stuff.
Some stuff,
yeah. What? Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
We saw stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
stuff, guys.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night.
No, but let's start off with the big one. Watson recently watched Captain America: Brave New World.
Recently, as in today.
As
it
in
came
today,
out, dropped
yeah.
today, so I went to
I think we all know my thoughts on Marvel. It's been going downhill for a while. I am looking for. I will watch this movie at some point. I'm not rushing to see it. I will watch Fantastic Four when that comes out, even though I'm not a huge Fantastic Four fan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The trailer Fantastic Four came out.
That's right. Yeah.
Since we last casted the pods. And,
yeah.
And so that was pretty awesome.
And we'll talk about that as well.
Yeah.
But this movie is, I'll watch it. I'll get to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how Marvel is for me lately. It's, I'll get to it.
Yeah. This is going to be a pretty spoiler-full discussion. I will say there's not that many surprises. I think if anyone's paid attention to the marketing of this, the big reveals have all been kind of thrown out there.
Even like after credit stuff, or
there is one after credit sequence that really does nothing.
Okay.
It's one of those
That's a
like
shame.
we're gonna tease. We'll give you a little tease, but that's about it.
Okay.
But nothing new really.
Is it a metal hand on his throat?
No, I wish. I wish
That'd
it
be
would be
dope.
something that cool. It's a very like forced, thrown in last minute kind of.
Okay.
What are those, huh?
Yeah. There's a lot of this movie feels that way. This movie, I mean, a little backstory on it. Obviously, this was supposed to come out a while ago. They reshot most of this movie within the last 6 months.
Wow.
There was a whole section of this movie that whole storylines were dropped. Characters that were supposed to be Seth Rollins, who's a wrestler, was supposed to be in it as part of the Serpent Society. His whole storyline got cut, and he did an interview going like, "I'm not in the movie." And
wow.
Yeah, and they do have Serpent Society characters, but it's pretty much just guys in black tech vests, and very easy kind of like lots of guys in balaclavas walking and running around. We get what's his name now? No, I'm running out. Esposito, yes. Giancarlo Esposito's in the movie as one of the bad guys. He's kind of wasted. He's in there for about 2 or 3 scenes. I know he was a last minute addition. Like all his stuff was.
Oh, really?
I think I do remember him being added
with. I think last year.
Yeah, something like that.
And it really feels it. Like he's very much in there, kind of like I'm gonna spout out some exposition and of course, and watch out, Cap. I'm gonna be back, and then that's all you get really out of him. We all know if you've watched any of the marketing, Red Hulk is in this film,
right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of through the course of the movie, kind of like tease, as if it was supposed to be a big surprise. And I don't know if it was because I think last year, when the movie was supposed to come out last year, there was McDonald's Happy Meal plushie toys that came out that already leaked that Red Hulk would be in the movie. Because it was supposed to come out last summer, and they pushed it. But they still put out all the toys. And so there was like, yeah, Red Hulk's in this. Sorry, So a lot of people found out that way. I mean, most people guessed he was in there.
Yeah.
So we do get that. I will say Harrison Ford is great in the movie. He's given a really great performance. He's given a full-bodied performance as General, now President Thaddeus.
Is he
Thunderbolt Ross?
Is he cognizant as Red Hulk?
No.
Okay.
He's more brute. More brute Hulk.
Like how I would like my Hulk to be.
Yeah. When you only get about 7 minutes of Red Hulk.
Of course.
And it is the third act kind of big battle at the end of the movie. So most of it is in the trailer.
Wow.
I was like very surprised. I was like, oh, okay, all right. They really did just kind of throw it all out there with the marketing. So if you've seen any of the marketing, you've seen the movie. They really didn't have any surprises. It's funny because the movie is more of a sequel to Incredible Hulk.
Really?
More of the sequel to that than it is a sequel to any of the Cap movies.
I guess because of the leader's appearance.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know, the leader is the main bad guy in the movie. He's the puppet master pulling the strings. It starts off with, you see Sam Wilson is the role of Captain America now.
Right.
He's been Cap for about a year.
Mm-hmm.
In this movie, he's got a new Falcon who is kind of like, he's the chatty go-to sidekick guy who's like, I love being the Falcon, and you're like, really? Yeah, that's what you want to be, Falcon? Okay, all right. And he's working with the military. He's kind of definitely like more trying to stay the course as Captain America. Ross becomes president. He gets elected as president, and his whole platform is togetherness. Like he's like, look, like we've gone through a lot. We've gone through the blip. Half the population was gone, and I want us to work together with these other nations because there's this giant celestial body in the middle of the ocean from Eternals.
Right.
If you remember this, which they have different countries have kind of set up different like little research facilities on. Everyone's trying to claim a piece of this thing, and the Japanese have pulled out an element which we now know is adamantium, and the Japanese have lost part of this element. It got out in the real world, and this group called the Serpent Society has stolen it. Cap goes in to get it back, so then America looks good in the eyes of the Japanese.
Now, do they explain, like, have they known about the giant arm this whole time since it was like, because the time period it appeared was way before.
No. The Celestial showed up recent. It's the end of the movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
I misconstrued that.
Yeah, and the Eternals, it happens in modern day.
Oh, okay.
And the whole reason the blip happened, when the blip happened, it actually stopped the Celestial from forming.
Okay.
Because they needed a certain amount of souls on the planet, was all this thing. And then when they brought everyone back, that's when the Celestial was starting to be born.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Remember that?
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, no one cares about it.
Yeah.
So they're basically now it's just like a dead husk of a body like in this ocean, and people are just drilling in and they're finding like adamantium. And so President Ross is like, I want to bring out all the countries together. It's my first 100 days as president. I want to make it look good. I want to create this treaty between all these countries, and we'll all work together to this adamantium. It's already, he says it's like it's stronger than vibranium. Like it's like it's this new element. It's got so much potential for military use, for everyday use. And there seems to be a lot of it if this whole, Celestial was made of it.
Yeah.
So he starts this treaty and invites Cap and Junior Bird Boy, Falcon, and Isaiah Bradley, who was the original Cap.
Yeah.
Was the
super soldier from the show Winter Soldier.
Yeah, so they invite the three of them to the White House, where while they're at the White House, a weird song starts playing, and Isaiah Bradley gets like Manchurian candidated and tries to take out the president, right? And then it's this Sam wants to go and investigate. The president doesn't want an investigation. The tree's kind of falling apart. You notice Ross is like, he's like nervous about the whole thing. He's like, I need this to happen. I need to make good that like I gotta prove to my daughter Betty that I'm not an asshole.
Yeah.
Because Betty is in the wind. Like he's like I haven't seen her since Harlem.
Yeah.
They do show pictures of Liv Tyler as Betty Ross.
Oh,
and you're
okay.
like, oh, okay.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
She is in this universe.
Okay.
And so Sam does this investigation to find out what's going on because Isaiah has like no memory of what happened. Thank you. And so he starts his investigation and immediately is like gone AWOL, right? Like everyone's like, "Oh, Cap, you gotta stop it," you know.
Yeah.
But it soon is discovered that there's a black operative site, this Camp Echo, that the leader has been kind of since Harlem has been shelled away and taken away from the world, and Ross has been kind of using him to like basically he realized like his gamma exposed brain is produces so many like basically he's doing all this like experiment work and stuff like that. So Ross has him under lock and key and kind of promised him that when he becomes president he would pardon him and let him go. He hasn't done that yet, and so Cap breaks into the facility. A bunch of guys come after him. They're all being mind controlled by the leader. The leaders, you got Tim Blake Nelson, I believe is the actor's name. Fantastic is back, and you know the prosthetics they give on him actually looks really good. He looks great as the leader.
That's good. Yeah,
I wanted a little more. Obviously, you know. Except him going like, you have 88% chance of you doing this, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. It's not as nuanced with the espionage stuff. Like it feels like they try to do Winter Soldier stuff again.
Yeah.
And it doesn't play really as well. And then it's like very fast and loose with that stuff.
Okay.
Like it's with like Winter Soldier, I feel like there was a lot of like you can't trust anyone. You can't trust anyone in S.H.I.E.L.D. You couldn't trust and then stuff with like Civil War with like the mind control stuff with Bucky, right, and Baron Zemo. I think it was all done really much better in that.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually really enjoyed the Falcon Winter Soldier show. I feel like the storyline in that where like it's Falcon versus Super Soldiers was actually a really great storyline. I feel this feels like the 14th idea of a story, and they're like, we'll go with this kind of thing. I will say Anthony Mackie does a great job. He brings an interesting take to Cap because he doesn't have the Super Soldier Serum. He's doing this as a regular guy. He also brings in the fact that he, was a VA counselor. That's his whole backstory. So he's trying to reach out to a lot of these people, and he's like, he's not trying to bring war. He's trying to like be like, hey, there's something broken with you. Let me try and help fix it. Right.
Yeah.
And you see that in a few scenes. You see that with Isaiah Bradley. You see that with even General Ross. Like he's like, you're an old soldier. Like, and I respect that. So I like that aspect of the character. I think it's really plays really well.
Yeah.
And of course they're like, you're not Steve Rogers, but you're like, he's not. He doesn't have the help that Steve Rogers has. Like, he's got this vibranium suit, and so you get to see some cool suit stuff.
Oh, so it's like suits made of vibranium.
Yeah.
Now?
So if you watch Falcon Winter Soldier, at the end the suit is provided by the Wakandans.
Oh.
And so his wings have the same like energy absorption that as Black Panther suit does.
Oh, okay.
Kind of thing. So you see that with the fight against the Hulk, he's able to like shield up and take blows and stuff like. Because if he didn't, he would be just pink mist.
Jelly.
Yeah, exactly. So, so you find out that Ross, they mentioned this back in I think Civil War. They had a heart attack.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so you find out he was actually dying, and it was the leader that helps him. And the leader's keeping him alive by giving him these pills that are keeping him going. But what obviously Ross doesn't know, he's slowly been giving him gamma.
Yeah.
And slowly over the course of years he's been ingesting this stuff and causes him to, there's almost a war between the U.S. and Japan by the Celestial Island, and you see that bit where like Cap is flying around Celestials. Yeah, so there's almost this. You have two battleships that are about to, and Ross is on one of them, and he's just like, take him out, like he's just frustrated.
Yeah.
And as he gets more frustrated, you see him kind of like, his eyes glow a little red and stuff, and he's just not thinking straight. And the leader calls him like, hey, I told you, if you didn't let me go, and this is what happens, kind of thing. Like, you're gonna do what I say, kind of thing. So it's the leader's kind of pulling the strings, and then Ross kind of like realizes what's going on, and he's like, I'm not going to fall for this manipulation. I'm going to go back to the White House. I'm going to tell the world. So basically he finds out that the leader is the one that hired the Serpent Society to steal the adamantium from the Japanese, but made it look like the U.S. government paid for it. So it made it look like Ross was the one behind everything, to kind of make distrust between all the governments. And then it's, obviously Ross comes out to be like, yeah, none of that was accurate. CIA didn't pay for this. And then like the leader kind of takes over the comms and starts playing stuff of like Ross saying like, I kept you in jail for all these years because you were working for me, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then like Ross, has that moment of just like, rah, and hulks out in Washington, D.C. Then you have Cap versus your Red Hulk little fight scene, and Sam is able to kind of talk him down, and he's able to reason with the Beast, and
but he doesn't show up, and she goes,
Dad. No, I thought that was gonna happen too.
That'd be interesting.
I thought Bay would be like, let's go to sleep time, no.
Hey, big guy.
Yeah, but then Ross ends up on the raft, locked up basically, and he's like, I went too far, and I learned my lesson, Cap.
For the leader, does he have a fight at all?
No,
you
don't see him physically. He's very much the
behind the scenes
guy.
But does he get caught?
He gives himself up. He gets away.
Chad just shrugged and said, "What the fuck?"
Well, because he was mad that like his plan to destabilize the treaty and everything didn't happen, and he's like, "Well, the only way I can expose Ross is if I get myself caught."
Oh,
so that's how he ends up on the raft as well.
Yeah.
See, like the way Incredible Hulk ended with him obsessed over Banner's DNA and research, and then it leaking. I would assume. And how the leader is in the comics and he's obsessed with Gamera stuff,
right?
So he should be like not wanting to, get.
He's kind of over it by this point. In the movie, he's just kind of like, I wish I could go back to being a normal looking dude.
Yeah, I mean, like, why? Marvel's messing up with some of the big bads. Like, they threw away Baron Zemo, and now it seems like they threw away the leader. I'm like, just. What do you want? I don't understand.
I don't know why he was really used in this.
Yeah,
as a he's not really he has nothing against Cap really.
Right.
It's more like just Cap's in the way.
Yeah,
and it just felt like he's got more of a connection to Ross than anything.
Yeah.
But I was just I was a little like disappointed by it. Yeah, exactly. I was like just like. They didn't really use him very well in the way that obviously he's more maniacal in the comics and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, like Earth's Mightiest Heroes. I love that run of the cartoon. Yeah, and his 2-parter Gamma World. Yeah, amazing. Like that could be a movie in itself.
Right.
And the fact that
he feels like a very thrown away bad guy.
Like not even he would have like. His control booth or whatever would turn into a giant mech suit. Like you're doing these fantastical villains. Give him the stuff.
Give him something fantastic.
He's got in this he's got like a shitty lab.
And
he like plays music to take over people's brains.
And if you like look at the roster of the world's most smartest people, the leader's up there with Iron Man and
he's just big. Well, he talks about like how smart he is and how he sees every angle, kind of thing. He's like,
does he?
A 33% chance you would have done this, and you're like, yeah.
No, and that's cool, but like he should act on a lot of I just like he should be so pompous where he projects a vision of himself to the world and be like, hey, guys, I'm here. I'm your leader now. And you all are going to be my gamma creatures.
Right.
Yeah, they never do call him the leader.
Really?
They call him Stearns.
Oh my god!
Samuel Stearns is the character's name.
Just, you know,
I was waiting for one turn and getting like, because they asked him like, "Who are you?" And he goes, "I'm the hero."
Well,
Like,
I mean,
that's when you say the leader.
Yeah, it's like I'm your leader.
Right.
That's his. That's his line. That's the leader's line.
There's one good scene. So when like they go to take on the Japanese army and Falcon Boy gets he gets winged basically. He takes it down. He gets clipped and ends up in the ocean. And he's healing up. He's at like Walter Reed or what have you.
Does Namor show up and like, I got you?
No, but that'll be good. That'll be good.
Yeah.
Hire me.
There was a lot of this movie. I'm sitting there going like, why isn't he calling Bruce Banner? Like, you're fighting a Red Hulk. You're in Washington. Can you just call Bruce up?
Yeah.
There's a lot. I guess like the big thing was like time, right? They don't have time to do that. But I'm like, probably calling some more people.
Yeah, he's around. Yeah,
but there's a small quick cameo with Bucky shows up, which Sam's there and he's watching the Falcon who's in rough shape, and he's like, damn it, like Bucky comes up and Sam turns to Bucky and goes, I should have just taken the fucking serum. Like, Jesus, like what was I thinking? And Bucky's the one going like, no, like you're a regular guy. Like, and that's what makes you special. Like, you give everyone hope. Like, you are he's like, I got a robot arm. Like, I'm not, because, he was like, you should have taken the shield. Like, why didn't you take the shield, Bucky? And he's like, look, I'm not something to inspire, like. And then it's a really good speech. And at the end, he kind of cut, like, Sam goes, did you get speechwriters to do that? He's like, hey, I got speechwriters to do that. Yeah, it's a little, because Bucky's running for Congress.
What?
In this. Yeah.
Okay.
So he's
probably setting up Thunderbolts or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that scene was their chemistry is so good. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan
that's always been good.
are
Yeah.
so
it's
I
always
was
been
just
good.
like, fuck, this should have been the movie.
Yeah.
Like, they're great on the TV show, but I really missed him in this. Because new Falcon Kid,
Well, I'll say their chemistry is great, but I did not like the show. I just,
me neither.
I thought
that was another one where they got cut to ribbons because the whole plot was about a pandemic, and it just got released around the pandemic. And they're like, oh no,
it was,
like, I mean, I didn't care about the super soldiers. And the fact that Baron Zemo wasn't even evil in it, I was like, what are you doing?
Yet again, they really didn't use Zemo to what he should have.
That was like the one thing I was holding out for. I was like, oh, Zemo's going to be cool in this. No, it was not.
But Sebastian Stan, like, as soon as he comes on screen, you're just like, oh, I'm invested in that guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I just couldn't. They were Karen Kellyman was like one of the main villains, and it's just like I had trouble like seeing her as a it's just. Yeah, I mean, I guess I get it. She has the super soldier serum. I get it, but I was just like, it's hard.
Like
it's hard.
Kind of the storyline they're doing with the refugees,
right? Me too.
Kind of thing.
Yeah,
like, dealing with that. I kind of dug it, and of course, like John Walker's story as like U.S. Agent.
The U.S. Agent was cool. Yeah, exactly.
I thought
that makes me excited to watch Thunderbolts.
Yeah, but I mean, I would have loved if it focused on U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
Right, and, like, exactly. That's what I thought it was going to do.
Both of them had to team up to take him down because he had this serum and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was
Which they did show, before the movie, they showed the new Thunderbolts trailer. And there's that bit where John Walker's just sitting there, like his baby's in a crib.
Yeah.
And he's just scrolling on like Twitter looking at like all his exploits.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, I don't know what's going on with this character, but I'm really intrigued.
Yeah.
And I think like Wyatt Russell is such a good actor, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the movie. The ending was, they did have a little bit at the end after the credits of, Sam goes to visit the leader, and the leader's like, "What are you gonna do when all the worlds burn?" kind of thing. Like, and that's it. Like, and I will say, like, some of the CGI looked wonky. Like, some of it, like, looked very much like oh, they filmed him and they filmed that person separately.
Oh, no way, dude.
And like it looked like very Quantumania, like they filmed it in a room, and it's like
come on,
and some of it's like like the set is a street. Like why are they like being green screening a street behind?
Right.
You know? And I will say the Red Hulk looks great.
Okay.
They really put a lot of time into that.
Okay.
Because it looks like, and Harrison Ford's really like doing it.
He's selling it.
He sells it.
Okay,
really
good.
Well. He's selling the movie. He's really like showing like it's a really nuanced character, which I
good.
You know what? Maybe I'll go see the movie and just pretend he's President Ford from Air Force One.
He does he wears an Air Force One jacket.
That's awesome.
That's like all I could think of.
Did he do any nod to Air Force One with like get off my chair or something? I don't know, something stupid.
No, I didn't. There was no get off my lines.
Okay.
I wish.
How's the? Oh, go ahead, Chad.
Oh no, I was just gonna say that another thing they could have done is have the leader bring Tim Roth back in, and he's the Abomination, because he always uses Abomination as a henchman.
Yeah,
and it's like
that would have been dope too, but
they kind of ruined it with She-Hulk.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
just like,
exactly.
Yeah,
you're right. They are screwing up a lot of their.
And then She-Hulk wasn't even there to jump in this movie.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
I would have liked She-Hulk to show up. I would have liked a lot of things. You know, there was definitely room, and I'm sure there was a lot deleted from this movie. There's a lot of reshoots last minute. I heard of multiple screenings of this didn't went well, and different takes and different it's a short movie. It's under 2 hours,
right,
for a Marvel movie, which is insane.
Yeah.
And it just felt like they were just like there's been no fan. I was at Disneyland the other day. And usually, they'll have a bunch of, like, whenever Marvel movies coming out, they'd have, like, characters walking around. They would have, a bunch of stuff to merch to sell. Like, nothing.
Nothing.
Like, it felt like I saw they had some Captain America Crocs that you could buy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, but other than that, they're red, white, and blue Crocs with little wings on them.
Yeah.
But it's really, like, they really, like, I feel like they're just burying this film.
Wow.
That's a bummer.
I mean, that's nuts, man. I mean, it looks like the budget is at 180, but that's not counting marketing. So let's say easily 280, 250. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. There's no numbers yet. I don't know.
Marketing wise, like even during Super Bowl, they didn't really push it.
Not really, no. I think there was one prior to the Super Bowl, and that's about it, as I recall.
Like that would have.
There might have been one other one, but
really like.
Yeah, exactly. You run a couple ads
next week.
Yeah.
But I was surprised.
That's pretty shit. Wow.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it?
It's not a bad movie. I wouldn't put it in like the worst Marvel movies.
Mm-hmm.
It's not in the top 10. It's right in the middle. It's like Ant-Man 2 kind of level.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like
that's pretty bad.
Where like it's serviceable, and I really like Anthony Mackie in the role. I hope he gets another shot at it. Obviously he's gonna be signed up for whatever Avenger movies that come out, but I don't know if we'll see another Captain America movie.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I don't know.
That's pretty bad.
I don't see that.
Unless it does
phenomenally well, but I mean, it's got to break 500 million to do well.
Yeah.
And I don't see that happening.
Right.
Wow, it's pretty. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and I did laugh a few times in the theater because there's a lot of exposition from like news television. So they'll be at a bar and they'll talk about Captain America. Steve Rogers was caught. And it was just like they're talking about like the Sokovia Accords and all that. It's like, it's all like I was like the news are very specific about this story.
Yeah. I might be falling off of. Marvel finally
really?
I haven't been.
Welcome to my world.
Well, no,
I've been here for about 3 years.
I haven't been keeping up with all the movies. Like I never saw Wakanda Forever, and I think there was another Marvel movie I skipped. I don't remember.
The Marvels, probably.
Yeah, the Marvels I didn't see.
Yeah,
and then there was
that,
one more because I saw Love and Thunder and I saw Quantumania. I think there was one other one, but
there's a TV. Have you ever seen it?
Like, the TV I didn't really watch much of because I couldn't. I just couldn't do it. Like some of it.
You haven't watched
Loki. I do not care about. They ruined him for me. So I was like, was like, he should not be good at all. I don't know why he's good at all.
Right, yeah.
And
you don't watch Agatha at all?
That one I do want to watch because everyone has said that was good. So I was like, oh, maybe I'll get a watch.
Surprisingly okay.
Yeah. I want to see that werewolf one. I didn't see.
Werewolf by Night.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's a great little one.
That's great.
I hear it's great. So there are some stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like I don't this recovery universe they're trying to build.
Yeah. Right.
This is not pulling me in. And depending, maybe Fantastic Four will be my last. Like if they don't hit that one, I think it's.
I mean,
that's it for a lot of it.
I hope it's a big reset for the universe.
I hope
in
so
a way that, like, this last movie still feels like they're still going on about the blip. They're still talking about stuff. I mean, that was like 5 years ago at this point. So I'm like, can we move on from 2018 storylines? You know, obviously their multiverse stuff didn't work.
There was rumors of, or at least I read somewhere there was rumors of Disney contemplating bringing back Jonathan Majors as
Kang.
As Kang, yeah.
Wouldn't be a terrible. I mean, he got kind of done dirty at Quantumania.
Yeah,
as a character.
Yeah, it's definitely as a character. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if Ant-Man kicks your ass
as a character, and then
you're not a threat. You're not a threat.
But I mean, just like man, like this one, because it's like, I think you should have done something more boots to the ground with this. No pun intended, because it's a flying character. But like, you know what I mean? They try to like throw in like the Red Hulk and all this stuff, and like just like I think his Cap needed to be a little bit more grounded. Needed to be a little bit more like, if you do espionage with him, do something, and let Anthony Mackie really take the reins on it. It really becomes like more the Harrison Ford show in this.
That makes sense.
And there's one bit where Falcon Jr. is like, he's in this little, he's in the hospital bed, and he's talking to Mackie, and he's just like, when I was a kid, I watched you guys on TV, and I just want to be like you. And I was like, really? You want to be Falcon? No, even Falcon wanted to be the Falcon. Come on.
How's the fight scene between the Falcon and Hulk? Is it good? Or?
It's good. Like I said, like they do a really good job of showing, because his tech he's more tech based. So he's got the wings going. He's got the shield. Sometimes he uses like the drone, like Red Wing. So like he'll have the drone carry the shield and use the shield as a deflector.
Oh, nice.
So they do some fun stuff.
Yeah.
And like his wings can actually like throw feathers, very like Archangel.
Oh yeah. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's
all right.
So like that's how he's able to kind of actually cut the Hulk, is like the vibranium of his wings can actually cut the Hulk.
Red Hulk have any phrases like does he?
Lots of roaring. That's about it.
No smash. Like
no, he doesn't really talk as Red Hulk.
Get off my Hulk.
Yeah. Get off my lawn. Get off my podium. Yeah. And that's the difference. Like, I don't like the way they did Red Hulk, because he's just kind of the Hulk in this. Like Red Hulk in the comics, he gets, the madder he gets, the hotter he gets. It's this whole thing. And we don't really see that in the movie. Of course. And Red Hulk in the comics is a more intelligent. Yeah, he uses his military, intellect.
Right. And I mean, technically, he's supposed to run the Thunderbolts. So
right. Not in this.
I know. Well, obviously not in this, because it's Julia Dreyfus's character running.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts. Yet again, I really like Florence Pugh. I like her as Yelena. I think she's a fun character. Sebastian Stan, yet again, I'm like, more of him, please.
Yeah.
David Harbour as Red Guardian's always fun.
Yeah.
It's giving Suicide Squad vibes, Guardian vibes.
Yeah.
That's why I'm iffy on it. Like, it looks fun,
right?
But I'm
and if you've seen the latest trailer,
they give you a lot.
I mean, obviously they're like, oh yeah, here's a plot.
Yeah. Except you don't know who you're fighting yet. Like I couldn't tell. I couldn't tell.
I know.
Oh, you do?
I do. Without, I mean, I don't want to spoil it. So
no. It doesn't matter.
Does it say it in this movie? Or?
No.
Oh.
But if you know the comic books, then you know who they're fighting.
Oh.
Well, they're fighting. You can say it.
Yeah,
it's fine. This for Thunderbolts, right?
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers for a movie that comes out in May.
I'm not gonna watch it.
The Sentry. I don't know if you know the character.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right.
It's pretty much Marvel's version of Superman.
Yeah. Wait, isn't the Sentry made by somebody?
His character. What do you mean by made by somebody?
Like sort of Guardians, how they made Adam.
Oh no, he was a guy that was given a super soldier serum, but it was like super. It was like 1,000 times more than a dosage that Steve Rogers got.
And then okay.
So and he's got like a split personality.
I see. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well.
Yeah. So I mean, like the comics, it's a very interesting character, very brutal.
I mean, character. I don't see them really taking down such a character.
Yeah, pretty much. That. Yeah, he's very much Homelandery. In the comics, he kills Carnage by like just taking him out to space and ripping him in half.
Wow.
Carnage?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the comics.
So Cletus Cassidy is
just fucking gone. Yeah.
Wow.
Is this outside of that Carnage line where he's got like the 3 eyes or something?
The
Ultimate Carnage or
the Reign of the King style?
No, not the leader of the symbiotes. Mm-hmm. But there was a like a series that had like a different version of Carnage, but he was like he had those spiral like I forget what it was called. Yeah. But I was like, is that not Cletus?
That is Cletus, I believe. That I think he gets better. I don't know.
Well, no, but that's before or after Sentry.
That's after Sentry ripped him in half.
So he survived that, then?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That was my question.
Yeah, okay. Because I think Sentry rips him in half in the Dark Avengers storyline.
Oh, okay.
I believe. Right in.
Do you believe that rumor that the movie's actually called Dark Avengers?
Because the asterisk is interesting. Yeah, I want to know what that's all about. They say there's a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because
Thunderbolt, that would be Thunderbolt Ross.
Right,
so right. Maybe there's So I don't know.
All right, so let's since we're talking about Marvel, obviously the Fantastic Four trailer just came out.
Yeah.
The Daredevil trailer came out a little while ago.
Yeah.
So Fantastic Four trailer. Are you guys excited? What do you think of it? I mean, Chad,
I just talked from my
I'm pumped for it. It looks fun. Personally, I love Pedro Pascal, but I don't believe him as Mr. Fantastic yet.
Yeah,
that's where I'm at. Yeah,
so
me too.
I'll need to see more of him when obviously it happens. But
I love him too, but can we not have him in something?
Yeah,
just one. I think he did. Yeah, I think he's an amazing actor. I think he did a great job with a lot of his roles, but he was miscast in Gladiator. Not really sure why he was there.
Oh God, I forgot he was even in
he's in this, and it's okay, yeah. I mean, I guess so.
And we got Last of Us season 2 coming out.
Got Last of Us season 2 coming out.
Mandalorian
the movie. Yep.
Well, who knows if he'll
probably just do the voice, and he'll just take off his helmet at the end or something.
Well, no, I mean Last of Us 2. Who knows how long?
Or he might get because spoilers, he gets beat to death. The character gets beat to death in a ridiculous manner that really pissed off fans. So for the game.
But I mean it looks fun. Everyone looks well casted, and the Thing CG looks great.
A little bit when he's talking to Herbie in the kitchen.
Yeah.
I thought that looked amazing.
I like that they're doing a 1960s version.
I love the whole aesthetic.
Cars with the fins on it.
I like that they actually had the Fantastic Four ship that they were before.
Fantastic car.
And we get to see the over the shoulder of Galactus. Did they? Who I forget. I forget the actor's name. He's like a French actor or something. That's
who's doing the voice.
Yeah, voice.
Yeah.
So is it going to be an animated face or his face though?
I don't know.
Probably an animated face. I would imagine.
I hope they don't do like a MODOK.
Oh, dude, I was just thinking about the same thing. I really hope they don't. That'd be.
I thought it interesting. We got to see pretty much everyone power up except for Reed Richards. You don't see Reed stretch.
It's interesting because it's not an effect that looks great live action.
Yeah.
Every single Fantastic Four movie that we've had that's done it doesn't look great.
Well, let me bring this up then because they did the live action One Piece where Luffy he's stretched.
Yeah, that's true. I think One Piece fits that narrative better because it's so over the top and it's intended to be goofy to where when Luffy does it in live action, it looks good because the show is kind of weird. You know what I mean? it looks off, and it's kind of intended to be off, and it's kind of intended to look funny. Whereas this, where it's supposed to be a little more serious, and we've seen it. We've seen it in the Fantastic Four movies that came out in the 2000s. It kind of didn't look great.
Yeah, I mean, here's my hope is we see more than just stretchy arms.
Exactly.
Because in the comic book, like Reed, is able to manipulate himself in so many different ways.
Yeah.
You see him wrap around things. You see, and I feel like the movies always just end up like, well, he could stretch his arms a little bit.
Right. He can twist on the dance floor.
Right. Like I want to see him really not Plastic Man level, but let's see him really.
Well, if anything, if they don't do a lot of stretchy, inventive stuff with him, I could see it being more used. His power more used in the sense of Captain Shield using at emergency moments to catch somebody or to stop bullets or something like that. So I could see them being reserved with it, but also it depends on. How they want to
how serious you want to go with it.
Because if they are in fact having the Mole Men, then it's already kind of goofy. So I was like, whatever.
Right, that's true.
You're not, and it takes place in the 60s, so it's going to be that cheesy feel to it, I would assume.
But I mean, speaking of the same kind of feel, like the Incredibles, I think they did stretchy so well with Elastigirl. I'm like, just do that.
That's true.
They didn't make her powers look dumb.
Like if the Thing is falling, you get turned into a parachute for.
I was thinking about that. Yeah. I mean, Incredibles is a cartoon, so it's animated. So I don't know.
But it was just very genius ways of using that power.
I think it was a very good idea for him not to show the powers of him too in the trailer, just so we have an idea. So we're talking about it now. We're marinating on it. Oh,
but
how it's gonna look like.
Because Pedro Pascal has kind of like two. Like he'll have his serious roles,
and
then his silly kind of character. And I hope they go more serious with him, and he's not as goofy.
It's a hard character to pull off because you want him to be a very serious scientist, but he's got one of the goofiest powers.
Yeah,
that's the thing is like a character like Plastic Man makes sense because he's a goofball.
Yeah,
so he can stretch and be like, I'm gonna turn into a Lamborghini. Blah, blah. Like Reed is like, I'm a serious scientist, but I'm gonna, turn into a whoopee cushion.
I wonder how they're gonna come across the name, like if it might be the media that calls him Mr. Fantastic, because there's I used to have a Norm Macdonald comedy album, and he had a skit. Of the Fantastic Four, and he's like, you're the Thing, and you're Invisible Woman, and you're the Human Torch, and but what are you? I was like, I'm Mr. Fantastic. Wait, whoa. Why are you Mr. Fantastic? Right. Because it's like the Fantastic Four. I was like, that is funny. Like, how would they decide that he's Mr. Fantastic?
Right.
So, I don't know. And I'm eager to see if this is going to be the same universe, or are they going to fall into some hole and end up in,
Agreed.
So, but I hope it's not so convoluted that I'm just like, I roll my eyes at it. And I'm like, okay.
Well, I like that in whatever universe they're in, they're established. Like, they're already got the Baxter Building. They're already suited up and heroing about. You see kids wearing like their costumes and stuff like that. And it looks like we will see some like origin stuff through like found footage kind of stuff.
Okay.
Well,
the speaking of Mr. Fantastic powers. When they cast Jim as him in the Multiverse of Madness, was it? Do you remember being? Sorry, I just call him Jim because that's who was Mr. Fantastic. But did we see his powers in that? I forget.
A little bit. He tried to stretch at Wanda. And she spaghettified.
But like before it spaghettified him, did it look cool?
It looked okay. Yeah, I mean it's kind of.
So maybe they found a way to do it. Without
I'm sure they did. It looks like they put a lot into the aesthetics of this movie. Yeah. So I think I have hope that they're going to pull it off, and it's the only Marvel movie that I'm actually excited to see.
Yeah.
I'm Thunderbolts. I'd probably, I'll get to it. I'll get to it.
I mean, the one I'm waiting for is not even announced yet. I just want Spider-Man 4. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's true. Sony's working on it because that's all they've got. They already said we're ditching everything else.
Right.
Because they finally set up the Spider-Man I know and love. Like he's alone in New York. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, and I mean, they have to make because if they don't have something in production by the end of the year,
they lose
it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
really?
Yeah.
I thought it has to be a certain amount of years, a gap. I mean, between.
I think that's it. I think they have it in the contract that it's a certain amount, like it's like 1 or 2 years before between.
Well, but animated wise, they've been making
those different rights. Animation rights are different,
and they've already said they've scrapped Beyond the Spider-Verse, whatever they had.
Really,
they're redoing it. So because it was supposed to come out last summer.
Oh, that's right.
And they were like, we got to redo it.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Because they filmed them, or they filmed them. They animated them back to back. Yeah. But for some reason they're not happy with it.
And right now I don't care about Doom since it's Robert Downey Jr. No offense.
No,
I just don't care.
No, I just me neither. I'm just
I think it was the least exciting announcement. It was a very safe.
Yeah.
Very safe.
Right. Because I know that Marvel was like, look, we've put out a bunch of movies and no one's caring right now.
Right.
How do we get the people involved again? RDJ. People love RDJ.
Yeah.
You know? And like, when's he coming back? And now it's like, wow, now he's the villain. And like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think
it's very lazy.
Evans is going to be in
Secret Wars
as well.
Yeah, no, I can see them bringing everybody back for Secret Wars. That's just.
But will Evans come back as Cap, or will he be
the Nomad?
The Hydra, Cap Hydra.
Oh yeah.
You know,
I hope they don't do Cap Hydra. That was such a weak storyline.
Yeah, it was.
I would really hope that they bring some characters with that, like even Coulson, like maybe he'll make an appearance. You know, we haven't seen him in like
I know
a long time. And I watched all of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Anyone would care.
No one cared. Yeah,
no one would care.
I mean, no one's going to see Coulson.
I mean, kids who were younger, kids who were like so young before the first Avengers movie, they don't know who Coulson is.
The movie came out in 2012.
2012. Yeah, I was just thinking about that.
Crazy.
Yep, 2012. I know.
These kids are like, I don't know.
It's insane, dude. Yeah. Fuck, dude, almost 13 years, dude. Yeah. Jeez.
And obviously, Drax won't be back.
We were all like 5 when it happened, right? So
yeah, definitely.
For
sure.
We were young, strapping.
Young. Daredevil trailer. Speaking of scrapping everything and redoing it, Daredevil trailer's released. We know that they originally had something for Daredevil and they got rid of it because they didn't like it. Yeah. And now we're getting this up. Kingpin is back. He looks like he's the mayor of New York. Hopefully, he's not out there, tripping up over a character that no one really cares about. I'm sorry to say. I mean, Echo was just no one was really that interested in this character, but they put an entire show around her.
I think he's healed.
Yeah.
He's looking at walls of different.
Yeah.
I know from all the reports, what they did have before was like more of a legal drama, and he wasn't going to wear the Daredevil suit until the last episode.
You see what I mean?
And they were like, we need to. And then, obviously they were smart and were like, hey, the guys that did the Netflix show?
Hey, the guys that we should have brought on originally?
Let's have them come back and...
that sounds crazy. That's crazy talk.
And then it's like, we got Foggy back. We got Karen back. Yep. We got Kingpin back. We got... Punisher back
and Bullseye
yes.
I'm excited for all this, and introducing a new villain, the Muse, who is kind of like a Banksy who uses death.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's a really cool character
because we're also getting White Tiger in there.
White Tiger.
That's right. Yeah,
there too.
First Puerto Rican superhero.
Yeah. And so I'm excited for these new additions, as well as all the, and then obviously.
Do you think we're gonna see, because they showed all the different helmets? Do you think we're gonna see him in multiple outfits?
I don't think so.
No,
I think if they're smart, they're not gonna play that card.
Do you think we're gonna see him swing from his?
That would be sick, dude. We finally said that.
I think we're gonna see that.
I think so too.
So just
now
once,
that it's Disney-fied,
probably just once. That's probably gonna overdo it.
Well, the thing is, here's my thing. There is no way they can't have Spider-Man make one appearance in there because he's the mayor of New York, and Manhattan's part of that. Yeah. Like,
that's true. Yeah, it would also be awesome to have finally Tom Holland Spider-Man facing off against Kingpin.
Well,
this
the funny thing is, I've been watching. I just watched all I think they have 8 episodes of the new Spider-Man cartoon show, the Friendly Neighborhood Spiderman, which is kind of like Spider-Man freshman year kind of thing.
Yeah.
And Charlie Cox is the voice of Daredevil on the cartoon.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
He shows up for one episode.
Oh, wow.
And they have a little tussle, him and Spider-Man.
That's cool.
And it's really fun. I'm like, so maybe they'll do a little quid pro quo.
Because, Charlie Cox was in the third No Way Home Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's like he could make at least one appearance here.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be dope.
And even so, like Kingpin should reference him to like this part where they're sitting at the diner talking. He's like,
why did you give up, fighting crime? And, well, now I'm dealing with another one. He likes
The Bug Boy.
Bug Boy or something.
like I would hope he's in reference, like he's referenced.
Yeah.
Because they're in his city. Like, They have to. Like,
yeah.
So, and then I hope at some point Kingpin takes
that pair up
the
in
Empire,
Harlem.
Well, no, the Empire State Building. Like he's gonna
Run
his base up there.
run his office from there. Yeah.
I think then there is rumors also Jessica Jones make an appearance in the show.
Oh, that's interesting. That'd be cool.
I've heard.
And then she'll just bang everybody because that's what they did with her. That's what the show.
No,
was.
Wow. Way to take away her power.
She had a lot of power, and it was used interestingly. I'm just saying
in ways you would love.
I mean,
the first season of that show was great. The second, not so much. They kept doing the same thing with her, which is like this character's broken. Yeah, we get that.
Yeah,
she's a
she
cool
has
character.
She's great. But.
Like I could see Daredevil hiring her as a detective to, for court cases, like to investigate.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
So it's like, so you can introduce that way, and then they can run into. I know they're not bringing that guy back as Luke Cage.
I love, but Mike Holder as Luke Cage was. Yeah, he was built he was born for that role.
No, he was great, and like
I wish they have him back.
Yeah, they could have just had. Him handling street crimes in New York. And
his show Evil just got canceled, so maybe.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. They just, I think, they just canceled the last season.
Because he was great, and what's his name from Lost? Is great.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I love all the demon. Yes, it reminded me a lot of like the Buffy creatures.
Okay,
the designs are great. Yeah,
because like. Only certain people could see the demons in the show, and like they're kind of like silly, but they're also like terrifying because the main woman, one demon would appear over her child's bed and like about to have the kid's finger in his mouth to bite it off, and he's like, "What you?" And he's just talking to her normally, and she's just wigging out like it's I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
that Evil's gone.
Sorry. Didn't mean to
that sucks.
Damn it! But.
Damn it! Captain America sucks. Evil's gone. What else? Is there no more seasons of fuck? What's the name of the show with James Spader?
Blacklist.
Blacklist. Yeah. Am I out of episodes of Blacklist now?
I don't know.
Probably. I think it ended actually.
Probably. Yeah, I think it a while ago. You mentioned
Suits LA. I mean, you can watch that.
Oh yeah, there
Get
you go.
Out of here. Bring back Burn Notice before Suits. Come on.
Secession. Why don't you start watching Secession? That's a good show.
That's true, but I already know.
I
already know how.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, but I do eventually want to watch Secession. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah. Watson recently started watching Friendly Neighborhood Spiderman. You mentioned it. What do you think of it, man?
I'm loving it. It's an interesting take. It's a very year one Spider-Man.
Okay.
The whole thing is set in. It's a multiverse story. So it's not it's not our Tom Holland Peter Parker.
Yeah.
It's on a different world, and you see that he's going to. It pretty much starts the same way as the regular Spider-Man.
Of course.
But then a portal opens up, and it's Doctor Strange fighting a Venom-looking creature, and he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't be here." And then the spider comes out of the portal and bites that Peter.
So that's not a canon event.
No,
as it's been stated.
But because it's different. They're able to do different things. So instead of like Tony Stark showing up to their house in Civil War, it's it's Norman Osborn. So Osborn has figured out that Peter is Spidey
already,
and he's like, I'm going to be the billionaire that's going to help you.
And is he already the Green Goblin?
No, but.
Just one disappointment after the other for Chad today.
No, but there's definitely room of like you see him kind of got his ulterior motives, and he's like, I'm gonna help this kid, but I'm really. They do mention like Concordia Accords and stuff like that, and he's already like, but Spidey's not in Civil War, so it's interesting. They do it's little plays here and there with characters that you know. And Chad, the animation's really cool. The animation's done very Steve Ditko, kind of 1960s style.
I did see the animation. Does look pretty good.
I'd say,
Chad, are you interested?
Not totally. I'll give it a watch, but I'd rather have Spectacular Spider-Man come back.
I mean,
I
get that.
Obviously.
So
I mean, if they gave us X-Men '97, why don't they just just do that?
Yeah, either the '90s Spider-Man or the Spectacular.
I've heard rumblings of the '90s Spider-Man being on a comeback.
I hope so, dude. That's awesome. That'd be great. Do you recommend it?
I do. I recommend it's a fun watch. The episodes are, yet again, it's not too hard to get into. The cast is really good.
Yeah.
I like seeing, Doc Ock is one of the big bads. Scorpion's one of the big bads.
Let me ask you this then. Would you say this Spider-Man show or the anime Superman show is better?
Ooh, interesting. Because they're both very much like origin stories that are different than what we're used to. Interesting. Because they both have very interesting, like, unique animated styles. I like the design of these characters more than I do the Superman show.
Okay.
Like, I'm not a fan of the way that everything kind of looks like giant triangles in that show. Like, Brainiac is like a big triangle head.
Yeah.
And then, like, same with, like, all the armor. Like, Parasite looks like a big triangle thing. I'm like,
right.
I get it's a very interesting aesthetic. It's very, I don't know, it's almost like Sailor Moon meets, like, Neogenesis, like, evangelical.
Like, it's the Triforce from Zelda.
Right, yeah, it's all very interesting, you know. But yeah, I did like this kind of like 1960s aesthetic, very, very like simple coloring. Like the color palette in Spider-Man is very much like primary colors, greens, blues, green, like now, just like the comics would have.
This will be the factor that will make me at least give it a shot to watch. Does he have web shooters?
He does have web shooters. I can
confirm
web shooters.
Okay.
All right.
I will give it a
that's a make or break for you, Sean.
I mean, no offense to Tobey Maguire. I love his movies, but I'm a web shooter guy. It's just
I always thought it made more sense for them to have like webs coming out of them. Organic, yeah.
But then you would have to hide that all the time.
No, you wouldn't. It just comes out of like a little pore in your skin.
No, if you remember the movie, he's got this big white patch, like somebody shot a huge.
No. It did look kind of gross.
It did, yeah. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But I forgot about that. You're right. But I mean, if it just like came out of a little pore,
sure. Like if how Venom's came out of a little pore on the top.
Right, or if like or
if you're looking at Spider-Man, though, it would be coming out of his butt.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's Web Weaver and
the boys. Oh my god,
and that thing was disgusting.
That is one. Like if Sam Raimi did this line, because I think he would be perfect to direct it. If he did the storyline of where Peter Parker's turning into an actual spider, like his six arms come out, and then he turns
spider.
And then they bring John Bernthal's Punisher in to hunt him down because people are like frightened of his Spider-Man. I'm like, so cool.
I gotta take you down, Webbs.
Sorry, Webbs. Mary Jane went missing, and now it's you.
Getting away from Marvel, we both watched Flight Risk.
Yeah, all three of us.
All three. Yeah.
We all won.
We all went.
We all went and saw that
in
movie.
40X.
Yes.
This is this is a movie directed by Mel Gibson, but he's back.
What?
I guess. Yeah.
No. It said clearly from the director of Braveheart and Apocalypto. It never mentioned Mel Gibson's name. Never mentioned Mel
Gibson. Yes. Didn't mention by name, but that's who directed it.
It's so funny they like from the director of Braveheart. It was like all over the ads. Yeah. But they not once said his name. Like, like, don't look at who directed this.
Just pay attention to the film.
Don't pay attention to the man behind the curtain.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, 40X is an interactive theater where the seats move as it's whatever's going on the screen, corresponding to the screen. Your seat moves. If there's a water scene, it rains. If tires burn out in the movie, you see smoke coming in the theater.
You smell the
pine and the rubber, and
I will
snows.
Preach the great gospel of 4DX wherever I go.
That's right. And so this movie, it takes place mostly on a plane. And every time the plane would jerk or move, go through turbulence, the seats would move around. We were all it was Chad's first time because he gets a little tummy.
My little tummy gets a little sick.
How was it for you, buddy?
Yeah, how was it, man?
I was surprised.
And why did you choose this movie, knowing there's going to be as much movement to do it?
Mel Gibson.
Well, he is one of the better human beings.
Get out of that one.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no.
I think that's an edit for you.
Yeah.
Let's just call him Lieutenant Riggs, because that's what I know him as.
Yeah.
That's what I know.
Yeah.
He not considering the person, but the art form, obviously, people say that all the time for people.
Yeah.
But he usually delivers on his directorial films. And so even though from the trailer it looked like this was going to be some silly 90s thriller type of film, which it was, but the fact the promos for it was for it to be seen in 4DX. So I was like, you know what? Maybe this is the one where I'll give it a shot, and it's not a long movie.
Right.
So I was like,
They got you.
So I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. And it wasn't too bad. I mean, like, it was really the end of the film that was the most jarring with being tossed around. Yeah. Most of it felt like you're just in a plane, and which is normal. I've flown before.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it wasn't a Boeing theater, but Boeing just knocks on the door. Hey! Or a suicide.
No, they'll just give us a plane ticket.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Hey, you won a trip to Hawaii.
Yay.
Oh, great.
Well, this plane in this movie definitely stood up much more better than a lot of Boeing planes out there. So the plot is there's a U.S. Marshal who arrests, the U.S. Marshal is played by Michelle Dockery. She arrests Topper Grace, who is Winston, who is an accountant for, it's heavily implied it's the mafia.
Yeah.
And
like Boston Mob.
Yeah, something like that. They have like the most like generic like Italian name, like Maroni or something like that. And I was like Moretti. I was like, okay. So
Boss Moretti.
So she wants to take him back to New York to testify because he has all the inner workings of this crime family that they're trying to bust. The very beginning of the film did not look great.
No.
Moose. Yeah, well, there's
CG everything.
CG everything. There's a part where just the beginning where he's sitting in a hotel room cooking some noodles in a microwave and the noodles explode. He's like, "Oh, come on!"
Yeah.
And then like they kick the door and it's just her and two cops and it's just like it looked like it was like a Hallmark movie. I was like, "Oh fuck!" I was like, "This is not looking good so far."
The whole exterior of the hotel is CG.
It's CG, yeah. And so then there's a part where you're gonna come back to New York with me. Yeah, sure. I'll come back. I'll testify. She's a U.S. Marshal. Why she doesn't have any backup, I don't know. But she's a lone U.S. Marshal.
Pay for another actor.
Exactly. She's a lone U.S. Marshal. Has to take him back. They have to fire because they're in Alaska. They have to hire like a bush plane, which is kind of like this like rickety thing held together
Propellers.
with. Yeah, it's a single propeller plane. They're gonna fly to Anchorage, and from there they're gonna catch an actual Marshal flight back to New York or wherever they're going. And so they have to hire a bush pilot who's just like an independent guy to fly him out. There's a part in there where they're walking to the plane, and it's like you could tell it's just bad CGI. Yeah. They had Mark Wahlberg, the U.S. Marshal, Michelle Dockery, and Topper Grace like walking the plane, and the entire thing is CGI, and it's very wonky looking. And I was like, why didn't you just get them walking in a real plane? Like they're obviously in some kind of there's like they're in the plane itself is some set that they built.
Yeah.
So couldn't you just get an actual plane and have anyway? So for the first 10 minutes, I'm like, oh shit, this does not look great. Mark Wahlberg plays the pilot, and immediately you can tell there's something not quite right with him. He's kind of
overly yokel.
He's kind of like rude to them, and
also asking so many questions.
Asking a lot of questions, constantly looking back. So they end up putting Topper Grace in the back, chaining him up in the back of the plane, and he kind of keeps looking at him, and like he has a rearview mirror for some reason in a plane.
Oh my god!
I was like, wait a minute. I was like, but there's like the back of the plane is just like cargo.
Way to look that way.
It's got cargo and all kinds.
Maybe
I don't know. Maybe it's just so he can see his passengers or the cargo.
See the cargo. Yeah.
I don't know. I was like,
I could see that.
I think they just put it up there because like they wanted to make it dramatic.
Like a car.
Yeah, he just wants to look at Topper Grace and like, just put a mirror up there. Is I think what happened. Yeah. So
it's chewing his gum.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he's like very vulgar to them in the beginning. There's definitely something not quite right with him. And it turns out he's working for the Reddies. He killed the original pilot, and he attacks Michelle Dockery. Her name is Madeline Harris in the film. Her character. So he attacks the marshal, and his plan is to kill Topper Grace so he won't be able to testify because he's working for the Reddies. She is able to
drop him off in the wilderness.
Right,
somewhere.
she's able to. Nobody on the plane aside from him is a pilot, obviously. And he's able to knock her out, but she's comes out of the at being knocked out, and she's able to taser him. And it's pretty brutal taser. She has a taser in his neck,
like Looney Tunes moment.
Crazy. It's like she's tasing for like 30 seconds straight as the plane is dropping,
just screaming next to it, like
but she's able to knock him out, tie him in the back, and now it's Topper Grace and Michelle Dockery trying to figure out like, okay, how do we fly this plane?
Yeah.
And they're on the radio trying to communicate with back home. She has a satellite phone that she is able to contact the U.S. Marshal Service office with, and then there's a B plot within that they believe
there's a mole.
She believes there's a mole within the marshal's office who was able to tip everybody. Who's able to tip?
No one else knows that they should have been on that plane.
Right, exactly. And how were they able to get a hitman who's also a pilot, pilot/hitman?
Very, very specific role.
Yeah, exactly. Have. Very quickly to take out the original pilot and act as a.
Yeah.
Anyway, so. The movie wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Once we got past that wonky 10 minutes, I was like, this isn't terrible.
No,
it very much feels
a job of trying to make tension from you get 3 people on a set that's the size of this table.
Yeah.
It's like there's not a lot of room. There's not a lot of places where you can go. Versus something like Passenger 57 or something where you got the whole jet and everyone involved, you don't know who's the bad guy.
Right. And I like what you guys said earlier. It definitely feels like a very 90s thriller film.
Yeah.
Like The River Wild, Cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It feels like it's just like this ordinary, thing going on that all of a sudden becomes a thriller.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just very interesting because, his other movies, you go from, Braveheart to Apocalypto to Hacksaw Ridge.
Mm-hmm.
Very big, bombastic, lots of big casts, and then to this little weird, three.
It's like a bottle episode of a TV show.
I wonder if
it's a very bizarre movie to go to.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if it was a contract with the studio, and he's to do one of his bigger movies, he had to do a smaller one.
Well, it's also he's kind of problematic.
Well, there's that.
So they're not gonna give him $800 million he used to get.
Those days are done.
Right, exactly. Like he used to. He's not gonna get Braveheart to sound money for maybe ever.
What's the heart? The one with the soldier that didn't want to fight. What
Hacksaw Ridge.
Hacksaw Ridge.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
He did that one. He
got
nominated.
Right.
That's true. He did.
That was after all the incidents.
Yeah. So I would assume
that's true.
They would. All right. Well, he got nominated for those. He could do another movie, but he gets this movie.
As far as I know,
so
he's doing.
Or maybe he just wants to do small.
5
now.
Which
one?
one?
I mean, supposedly, yeah.
He's doing what?
Lethal Weapon.
He's directing. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because Richard Donner, before he died, he's like, if they do,
it was good to go. It was all greenlit to go before Richard Donner died.
Right.
And then he said, the only person I want to direct it is Mel Gibson.
Interesting. So. Is he going to be playing Riggs?
Well, yeah, it would be him and I don't know what the plot. There's no plot solidified plot or anything between the two.
Okay.
But yeah, I would see both of them back and probably
Rog, look, she's a terrorist and it's a woman.
Well, no, I mean
it's my worst nightmare.
There were
you're getting too old for that.
There were a couple scripts earlier before they said they were greenlit and stuff, and I remember down lines oh yeah, both of them are on a road trip and they stop, so they're retired sort of, and they get pulled into something. I
just hope it's not like the last Rambo movie where it's just it's Rambo is at home. It was a home invasion.
No, I remember that movie. Yes.
Yeah. If anything, I hope they do it justice.
Yeah.
There. But no, yeah, I think that, and he's been in a couple movies too where he wasn't directing. So I don't know what caused him to just. I want to do.
I think he just liked the script, and he just wanted to just do the small thing because he doesn't have to worry about extras and stunt choreography for 100 people.
Taking more than a few weeks of shooting,
Yeah, it's probably they probably did it in a month or so.
Small set, even like the action sequences.
Yeah, 95% of the movie takes place on the plane.
True, right? Yeah. It's three people.
I could see it being a precursor to a bigger film that he's doing. He's like, and he'll probably maybe reuse those actors to be like, hey, you guys. Be a solid for being in this.
Yeah.
Here, be in this. Because I do remember specifically he mentioned he was working on a modern version of the Peck and Paw movie, the Wild Bunch. He was going to do a modern version of that.
Oh, cool.
So a modern Western of that. And I was like, that's really cool. So I don't know if he's still...
That's a crazy movie.
Yeah. So I'm not sure if he's still on that, but I do remember him speaking about that when I went to go see Dragged Across Concrete, and he was like mentioning that was a movie he was going to be working on. So, but yeah, that was like years ago. So I don't know.
Yeah.
If that's
I mean, I think that it was pretty well written because there's what I liked about the film was for the B plot. She felt that for a minute she thought that her director. Who was voiced by Leah. You never see them. She's just talking on the phone or on the radio.
Oh, yeah.
She's talking on the radio to a pilot who's on the ground who's kind of trying to lead her in because she doesn't know how to fly the plane. And then she's talking to her field director, who's played by Leah Remini, voiced by Leah Remini. So
is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah. I heard once I heard her voice.
That's funny.
But she is she thinks there's a mole within the field office. She goes up to the hired director above Leah Remini's character and says, "I think that my supervisor has been compromised. She's working for the Morettis." He's like, "Really? That's interesting. I'll see what I can do." Next time she calls the field office, she got hit by a car and she died. Which is like, okay. So then she's like, oh shit, it's actually the director who was working for the Morettis, and that's how. So there's a good, and also when she's talking to the pilot on the ground. He has these uncomfortable pauses sometimes. He starts like kind of flirting with her, but he's kind of doing it to calm her down.
Yeah, I think
and she enjoys it because she laughs. She laughs about it.
Keeps her at ease.
Keeps her grounded a little bit, but then he's making these kind of weird pauses and giving these kind of strange directions.
Yeah.
So you think like, oh, is he also working for the Morettis?
Right,
and who is this guy? So there's they do a good job of the tension not only on the plane itself, but also what's going on outside her world, outside that little world of where she's in.
So I want to talk for at least 3 hours about Mark Wahlberg's hair.
It was strange.
Black pilot.
Yeah.
Because so many things freaked me out about this. Okay, so
I don't know why they made that choice. It's
an interesting. So apparently he wanted to do the same haircut for The Departed.
I could see that being a cop haircut.
Because it was he was like supposed to be a schlubby cop, and he really wanted to go for that. And Scorsese was like, no. So he got to do it.
He's very well put together in The Departed,
But okay. So his character comes in to the plane. He's wearing a baseball hat, and you see a little tuft of hair, and there's a scuffle, and you find out that he's wearing a wig under the baseball hat.
Yeah,
but the pilot he's replacing is a bald guy. And when you see the picture of the pilot, so does that mean that character, as a character choice, is to have that wig just because?
I think maybe, because I was thinking about this.
This was driving me. This kept me up all night.
So we talked about this. So after we saw the movie, and I think and I thought about it later, I think what he was doing was because he's bald, it's harder to identify him. So it's just, what was the guy's hair? Brown, and he was long brown hair.
Right.
Okay, but then he just takes his hat and wig off, and it's just a bald dude walking around. So I think it's easier for him.
To kill them, and there was no other witnesses.
Yeah, but I mean, just in case. Oh, I saw them fly off with a pilot.
And under the hat though.
But I mean, as we got to learn more about his character, we got to learn that he's very unhinged.
Very unhinged.
Yeah. Really, I don't think he
loves to rape.
Well, yeah,
he
man
was
and women. So.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he made a lot of comments about wanting to sexually assault both of them.
Yeah.
And he was definitely going to sexually assault Topher Grace's character.
That's the thing. That because I was wondering, I was like, if he's going to kill him, why doesn't he just kill him? But no, he wants to torture them and really fuck with their bodies and
Right,
stuff.
exactly.
So that's why I was like, okay, now I can believe him not easily just slitting her throat.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
he wanted to play with them first. So
I was just hoping, like, when he's like talking about like going to like Topher's like mom's house and stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Like maybe we see a picture of like he was there at the house wearing like a blonde wig or like kind of like the Jackal.
yeah, I
Like
mean,
Bruce Willis and Jackal had like different disguises.
Yeah.
and
well,
stuff.
his guy's not that smart. So
Right.
I that's what I don't. I'm partially glad we didn't make him more than he was.
Right.
But I would have loved.
We never
if,
find out his name. We never
No.
find out
No.
his backstory. It's just
I
like I want to rape and kill.
I would have loved if he did like reveal he was at Topher Grace's
Right.
mom's house.
Yeah.
And that would have been more dark. And I'm like, oh jeez. But no, I mean like he like it was a little jarring at first, but I warmed up to him in the sense of he's being like zany and over the top. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
Very over the top,
he's
yeah.
a fun
He's
villain.
giving a
Yeah.
big performance.
Yeah.
For sure.
I feel like he was like, "This is the one.
But-
This is my. I'm gonna be like, like the Silence of the Lambs."
leaning into his like Boston accent. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut you up into little pieces, guys.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I will say
Tiny motherfucker.
I did like the fact that anytime the Michelle Dockery went up against him physically, she would just get run. She would just get.
Oh my God,
He would
yeah,
just
yeah.
blow her
He
over.
rocked
Right off the bat,
Yeah,
like
he-
he punches her in the face,
and she's out.
And she's got a shiner.
Yeah,
And when she's
That-
punching him while he's handcuffed, he's just laughing like,
yeah. So there's a part where he's pissing them off, and she's handcuffed him in the plane,
Yeah.
and he's just like she's just waiting on him, and he's just taking it like.
It just drove me crazy though because it's like right off the bat, like Topher Grace, like we can't kill him. We need the pilot. We need him as
That
the
was a
pilot."
weird thing, yeah.
And you're like, okay, that's why you
Yeah.
can't shoot him right off the bat,
Right.
And then, but then, like once they get the pilot on the
Right.
headphone, I'm like, what's stopping you from fucking?
Well,
killing
then,
him
but then
now?
she's about to shoot. Then he's like, "Why don't you just shoot him?"
yeah,
Tell Topper Grace, he's like, "Oh, just shoot him."
yeah.
Oh, wait a minute, but
And
you
then
just
he's
said,
like, well, you'll
yeah.
depressure the
pressurize the
plane,
cabin. Yeah.
right?
but she still shoots him. Anyway.
Yeah,
Well, no, but
yeah.
she shoots him when they're on the ground already.
Yeah. When was it on the ground? Yeah, they're on the ground.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
They like just landed,
Yeah.
and they're
They're coming in. For
they're
the-
coming
in,
in, and then she like
Yeah, they're approaching the airport, and he attacks
they're
her.
low
Because
enough,
I was
yeah.
there, like,
Yeah.
just shoot him.
Yeah.
Or kick him out of the plane. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But hey, apparently he's very resilient because when the plane breaks in half and he falls out of the plane and he like lands like a superhero style,
Yeah.
but then gets just wrecked by the truck. I
Dude, the
was
truck didn't even stop, dude. Just
No.
barreled right into him.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well. Yeah.
Easy.
So, yeah, so they finally land the plane, but because he comes to and he tries to take her out again, she shoots him. The plane hits, lands it's a pretty rough landing, comes apart. He falls out of the back and he gets hit by a fire trucks that are coming down to help him out, help out the plane. But then so I want to talk about after they land. I was like, okay, they could have got, it's a very on the nose moment.
Oh, yeah.
Where Topper Grace has been stabbed. She thinks he got stabbed by Mark Wahlberg's character. She thinks that he's dying.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. He's still alive. There's an ambulance waiting. One of the ambulances that ran over Mark Wahlberg's character, and he's going to the back of a car. Yeah,
picking Wahlberg up
and she's
the-
like, "Oh God, thank God I landed." She meets the pilot who's been guiding him in, and all of a sudden this dude walks by who's
Like-
dressed as a cop, and he's on a cell phone. He looks at her very menacingly, like
yeah.
like all you needed was like the evil villain mustache,
yeah.
you know, like just twirling his mustache as he walks by.
His
That's all he
cop
needed.
should have just said like goon
Yeah.
number 3.
Right, exactly. And have like a massive tattoo
Oh
on
my
the side of his
God.
face,
Yeah, exactly.
one eye missing, you know.
Yeah.
And
Did not look like you.
yeah, and she sees him. She's like, "What's going on?" He gets in the back of the ambulance with Topper Grace, and she opens it, and he has a bag over his
Yeah.
head,
which yet again,
I
could have shot the
could have shot the guy, but I think he might have.
there's all those
There's
authorities
everybody's
around.
around. I guess.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess. It
So,
should have been the
yeah.
ambulance guy. and
Right.
stuff.
But he could have put an air bubble into his
Something,
Anything.
yeah,
There's a
exactly.
million
Stabbed
ways.
him,
Yeah.
you know, it's something quieter. And so she has a bag over top of her, trying to take him out. It's another one of Moretti's people, and she shoots him. And
Right.
then she's like, "Okay, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get in the ambulance with you."
And then
And then the
credits
pilot-
right away.
I love how the pilot leans into frame. and he goes, "Oh,
oh, yeah.
You're-
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We were laughing at that.
Yeah.
Yeah. After she shoots him, like, the pilot who's been guiding her in is just kind of like leans in a frame. Like, oh, what happened?
And then
Are we going to dinner still?
And then just goes straight to credits, and it's just like, it's very bizarre. It like does feel like an episode of TV. Like
it's up from the beginning and the end are just like too goofy, dude.
Yeah,
but the middle part where they're playing is pretty solid.
Well, I think that you have 3 really solid actors involved. You know, I think she did a great job.
She did a great job. Well, they all did.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like it's a solid like thriller in the sky.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it reminds me of Cliffhanger, Riverwild.
Also,
it's
It had inklings of Red Eye, with Killian.
Yeah, Red Eye. Yeah, that's right.
And then also Turbulence with Ray Liotta.
Turbulence is a great movie, dude. That's a great movie.
And that's where I kind of got Mark Wahlberg's zany like killer.
Yeah,
Ray Liotta goes for it.
Definitely that. I remember that bomb had 2 pieces that had to connect.
Yeah,
and they stick the coffee stirrer in there.
Yeah.
I was like, what kind of a bomb is this?
90s bomb.
Yeah, it's definitely a 90s bomb, dude.
That's how you get it past detection.
Yeah. Flight Risk. I had fun. I wouldn't mind seeing it again in 40X. So
yeah, like if it's still out in 40X and you're partially interested, I'd say that's the best scenario to see it in.
I believe Captain America is taking over 40X.
Oh, really?
Well, that makes sense.
Well, I do remember when we were there, the trailer, it was rocking us around.
Yeah, it's true.
I was like, the scene wasn't even any. It was just Hulk going, "Rawr!"
Yeah, that's all.
And we were being thrown about. Like, what?
It moved, yeah.
Okay.
Flight Risk. It's pretty good. It's not bad.
I think it's probably out on.
Probably, yeah.
I think so.
Digital at this point.
Yeah, you can. I'd say watch it at home.
Yeah. And you guys watch Love Hurts?
Yes.
What did you guys think of this? This is we were practicing his name before because we don't want to fuck it up.
Ke Huy Quan.
Yes.
There you go.
And tell
me, what is it about? I haven't seen it yet. What is this?
So
I want to see it.
It's a real basic storyline.
Yeah.
He is a man who, it's your story of a man who has a troubled past. He was an assassin, if you will, for a gang. Got out of the business and became a real estate agent in the suburbs of Chicago.
Okay.
Did they I don't think they stated where they were. I don't remember them stating it. Maybe.
Oh, no, I think it was his brother was in Chicago.
Oh, okay. Then. Maybe.
But, so yes, he's working as a real estate guy. He's got his life together. He's having a good time. But, darn it, you can't find love. It is Valentine's Day weekend. He's making little heart-shaped cookies, and they're doing, his office is doing a big Valentine's Day dance thing?
Party?
Yeah, I don't know what offices do that, but, sure. And
we did elementary school, right?
Right. And, and he recalls of a time where he was in love with a woman, played by Adriana DeBose.
Yes.
Adriana DeBose, yeah.
Who he helped escape the life of crime.
Okay.
And, he let her loose. He was supposed to kill her, but instead he was like, get out of here. Who apparently she stole like $2 million from the gang that they were part of.
Well,
the brother.
Yeah, the brother, played by Daniel Wu. Yeah.
Right. Whose name is Knuckles.
Yes.
The bad guy is Knuckles.
Well,
like they say his real name at one point, but they really just say Knuckles the whole time.
Yeah. It's just like, that's a first draft name if I've ever heard one.
I was like,
There was a lot of this script which I was like, this feels like a first draft.
I'm gonna say I was really rooting for this movie.
Yes.
But I thought it was just terrible. I did not like the story was disconjointed. There was a lot of just like
it's Nobody. It's John Wick.
Well, but like there was so many comedy parts to it, but then like it goes into this brutal, bloody. Like it just didn't connect.
Right. It felt like he was trying to do like a Jackie Chan movie with certain things, like when he knocks out the Raven. And then he like throws the pillow under his head.
Yeah, no, I mean they did. I've heard it.
Oh, there's a bad guy called the Raven.
Okay, well.
Yeah. There's a hit. Yeah, like one of the hitmen is called the Raven, and
he
writes poetry, and like that's one of that.
I love that character.
Like, that character was great with the assistant at Ke Quan's job. Then I was like, let's stay with this more. But Kay and Adriana, their chemistry was not there.
There was no chemistry.
None whatsoever. Yeah.
I mean,
really?
there was so little chemistry on screen that they had to do voiceovers.
No.
So in the middle of the movie, out of nowhere, you hear him going like, there she is. I loved her.
Oh yeah, there was throughout the movie.
And then like her voiceover going like, oh, he's so cute. I wish he knew that.
Yeah.
And you're just like, where did this come from?
And they're just like looking at each other.
Because it wasn't in anything before that.
Like they didn't have moments to show, like also there's an age difference. They look a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Even though like I think she's only like.
No, she's about 20 years younger.
No, not 20, like 13 or something.
Oh,
they definitely look like there's an age difference.
Right.
But the thing is, like, it's just. I didn't like her character either. Like, she had no redeeming part. Like, I didn't understand why he loved her at all. Like, he was... Because he says, he's like, I loved you for the longest time and stuff. And, it's just so many things that were wrong with it that just didn't work. And the fighting was very slow. And nothing against Kay, because he was probably the only trained...
He's doing great.
Him and Daniel Wu are the only trained martial artists there. The rest were like people brought into
I mean, there are a lot of the goons.
Yeah,
were obviously like his stunt team guys.
Yeah, except I forget the black guy with the dreads.
Oh,
the partner.
but it's Beast Mode. It's what's the name?
Shawn
Lynch.
Yes. It's him, and then the Raven.
I actually like the pairing of him and the white guy, and who's like trying to get his wife back.
That's the thing. There's some redeeming parts to the movie, but as a whole, it's just not good. Yeah. And I hope he gets another chance of a leading man to like get his own. Maybe with an actual like another action director like more Hong Kong style or more like pick a route. Like I think it was too goofy too. Like
that's why I felt like I got that like Jackie Chan vibe to it. Because he's like deflecting stuff, but he's like he's like playing it off like he doesn't know.
The fact with the story being him pushing away that life, he went back into it so easily. I think there needed to be like just
he needed to be more rusty and
he's very rusty. He's also won't get that angry so quickly. I was like, this came out of nowhere, and he's like just stabbing a guy 50 times. I'm like, I don't really believe this. I don't know. So the story. Yeah.
Sorry, just to get back into it. So she escaped from the life, but she's sending Valentine's Day cards to everyone in the gang who's part of this heist that happened. Because supposedly she has like $2 million of the mob's money. She doesn't though. It's the brother stole from the Russian gang.
Yeah. She helped the brothers henchmen steal from the Russian gang, and they stole about $4 million.
Right.
But then they told Knuckles that she stole $2 million.
I keep thinking Sonic.
Yeah, no, that the whole time I was watching that movie.
Like, out of any name to pick, really, Knuckles?
I know. There was 2 movies already with Knuckles.
I know.
And
a TV show.
And and
especially Kiko just being like, Knuckles, my brother.
So she supposedly stole that money, and I think they recovered the money from her or something. So she's just trying to get revenge and like, I want to kill all of them so I could have my life back. She just wants her life back.
Yeah, and then Reese Darby is in the movie as an accountant.
Yeah.
Who like she's kidnapped to like tell basically the mob like what happened for real. Yeah. To kind of like spare her name kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because she's like, I'm sick of living in the shadows. I'm sick of like not having a life. Because they took my life, kind of. Yeah, thing. And like Kikwan's just like, I don't want to have anything to do with this, man. Like I'm the top realtor,
It was. I felt like this is so mean. Why are you taking him out of his something he loves? He loves doing this.
And you get an appearance by Sean Astin.
Yes,
so you get a little bit of a Goonies connection.
And, I like the part. He's great in there. Sean Astin was great. Yeah, in it. Like. The parts where he awarded Kay with the best realtor award, And like,
and he's like, you work for my company. You've been really great, you know.
And Kay brought out the waterworks for that scene. I was like, damn, like this felt like there was a context. Yeah. Well, yeah, there was like inklings of outside context of like Goonies. It was like, it was like, it was almost like a meta conversation of like, hey, absolutely. Watching you grow up to be this. It's like, oh, this is really sweet.
Instead of a realtor award, should have just been an Oscar.
No, exactly.
Like, hey, you got the Oscar. Good for you.
Good for you. And then like you see Sean Astin again with his brother Knuckles.
Yeah, so Knuckles shows up to be like, "Where's my brother?"
Yeah.
And then Sean Astin's like, "Oh, I'm like his brother too." He comes over and has Thanksgiving dinner with me.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Knuckles has a tendency to drink a boba.
Yeah, he's always drinking boba.
So everyone has got a sidekick. He's always passing him a boba.
Yeah.
And
he was like, one.
So like one of the ways he kills is using the boba straw
because the jagged.
It digs it right
into the eye.
You
right
know what?
into Sean Astin's eye.
I can't fault him for that, dude.
It's ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous. Yeah.
I mean, if he's gonna drink a boba all the time, you gotta use that somehow. That's, okay.
That's his thing.
Yeah. Okay.
But nothing against Daniel Wu. I like him.
Daniel Kim's great. Yeah.
Daniel Wu.
Sorry.
He has a show. He had a show on AMC called Into the Badlands.
Yeah.
It was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
Really good.
And they misused him so much. Like he could that's why I was just like, he should have had a bigger part in this than like the background character.
I mean, they want. I get it. Like, you want to save him for the big conflict at the end. He's your third act, big bad that they're gonna fight.
Well, they're brothers, and we're getting all this exposition of their relationship, and we don't see it. Like, I want them to be connected a little bit more. I don't know. It just felt so like, all right, now you're confronting each other. It's like, remember, big brother, you can never beat me. And I was like, all right, okay.
And somehow they play baseball together.
Yeah, like he's got a baseball, and I'm like, all right.
Doesn't play into anything except for the end.
And they took a lot of because he kept referring to his brother as like, you're my monster, and stuff, because he uses him to be a muscle. Right. And I was like, this is Unleashed. You're referencing Jet Li with Danny Boyle. I mean, not Danny Boyle. His name is Danny the dog.
Yeah.
With
Bob Hoskins.
Bob Hoskins.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a great movie.
But that movie.
That's
yeah. So like there was it pulled in so many elements from other movies. It didn't know what it wanted to be, and that's what really hurt.
Second draft.
Yeah. No. Or a third draft.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool little scenes and a lot of great action set beats.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah.
There's a scene when he's fighting like 20 henchmen, and just some of it's really brutal, like you said. Like, he stabs a guy like 20 times in the chest. I'm like, Jesus.
But like, even that, it was just like, these guys.
Everyone brings a knife or.
Well, no, it was very
there's not a lot of guns.
It was very anticlimactic, that fight.
Yeah.
Where it was like, boys, get him, and it was just like,
everyone wearing ski masks, so you can't tell.
And they're just slowly. They're kind of like.
Yeah.
I don't know if they
one
were
at a time.
Not. I mean, they had to have been stuntmen, but the way they were attacking was just like, this is just very boring fight. And
this is the final fight?
Yeah, this is the final fight before he fights his brother.
Yeah.
And like, Adriana, she's got this taser this whole time. Tasing.
That's
I was like, shouldn't you be killing these people because you hate them? And then she finally grabs a gun. I was like, why did you grab that earlier? You're using this taser the whole time. It was pissing me off so much. I was just like, put down the taser. But I was like, I just.
Well, I mean, you show her like blowing people away. She's not a redeemable character.
She wasn't one to begin.
I know.
Yeah.
It's just like, God.
I mean, it's not doing well. It came out February 7th. Mm-hmm. The budget is $18 million. It's not even cleared $9 million. 8.8.
And I feel bad. I really wanted him to do
it's
well.
One of those.
Yeah, me too.
Do well rented.
Right.
It's kind of,
yeah. I mean, I was excited to see him in a movie.
Yeah. So I do hope he gets another chance at maybe an action film and stuff like that. But it just needs to be a better script.
Yeah.
It just needs a better...
There's a lot of wacky elements to it. But not enough. I would go full wacky. Like, go like, like... I always think of like... what's that movie? Aces? What's that one?
Smoking Aces?
Smoking Aces.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
No, it's a great movie.
Because that's the one that just goes balls to the wall.
Oh, yeah, it goes crazy.
Or I would love to see him in what's the Stephen Chow Kung Fu? Oh my god,
Kung Fu Hustle kind of.
Yeah. Like a Kung Fu Hustle movie.
Yeah.
Like I would love to see him in, something. It could be like a sequel to, what's the movie? Big Trouble in Little China. Like I would love to see him.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
There.
That'd be great, dude.
Yeah.
Like a remake of that.
Yeah,
oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
he could be the hero character with the girlfriend, or he could be even a young version of. Two girls with green eyes. Like
that would be good actually as a villain. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I just want him to be able to work his acting shot. Get to use his fighting skills as acting, because he was great in Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Brilliant.
So that director knew what to do with him. So
and that character being so many different multiple facets.
Yeah.
He's able to really show. Like a lot of range.
Yeah, definitely.
And they did do the action stuff, but it was sparingly.
Yeah.
So yeah.
You were not put on this earth to get it, Mr. Burton. Yeah. I love that's a great line. I love it.
I used to do an impression of the guy who's like magical power or something. Or what's he say? I forget.
Egg Chen?
Yeah, I forget. Oh no, what's he say? What's this drink or whatever? And then he goes, it's I forget what he calls the drink. It's like I think it's invigorating. I don't remember. But
A demon bag. Oh, great. A demon bag.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys, would you recommend this to go see this?
Rental or a good,
rental.
if it shows up on HBO or something like
Okay.
that.
You think it's going to make its money back in streaming then?
I think so.
Because it was an expensive movie.
They
had a few set pieces and maybe a couple like.
I wish it did better, obviously.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that he gets more chances. I'm sure he will.
A movie I would pitch for him. He Kwan saves Christmas, and he's like fighting. He's fighting people trying to attack Santa Claus.
Okay.
I think that'd be good.
But I feel bad for her because it's like between that and Craven, her.
Well, this one was slightly better than Craven.
Yeah, slightly better.
I'm just like, man, like she was an Oscar winner too, or Oscar nominated.
She's the one who said yes to these movies.
I know.
That's on her. Unless her agent was
like,
her agent, man. You should take.
Yeah. I got you a Marvel movie. I got you.
Oh my God, Adriana, you're gonna love this. Are you familiar with Spider-Man?
Yeah.
There's this movie, Craven.
I'm gonna be in a Spider-Man movie. Not quite.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in the universe of Spider-Man.
That means they can use you for any one of the sequels.
Yeah. You could appear in so many things. And then we're ending the universe right after this movie.
What's my character do? Kind of tarot? Maybe?
Kind of.
You create this thing to make this other guy powerful. But am I powerful? Not really.
Not really. Do I not take the... No. You don't take the liquid.
Yeah.
You have it on you.
And you love this guy. You're in love with him.
But you're a lawyer.
You're
definitely a lawyer.
You know how to find people, too.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
And do I have any cool court scenes? No.
Do I do any lawyer stuff at all? Not really.
And you'll be put in a weird superhero suit for some reason at the end of the movie.
And we'll let you shoot a crossbow like once.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. You'll be all right. You'll be fine. So Flight Risk, Love Hurts. Check them out. Not bad. Not great, but not terrible.
Hey, that's January and February.
Yeah,
exactly.
January felt like the longest month in the world. So
It surely did. I
was like, what else? What other movies did I throw out there?
Yeah. And now Daredevil is having a convicted criminal be the mayor of New York. That's so ridiculous. That could never happen. Yeah. That's all we got to say about that.
Take us out,
Chad.
Well, guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Enter the Nerdom. If you aren't already, please like, subscribe, share, comment.
Oh, please rate and review what you do like. I mean, come on. But get on that algorithm and let people know.
hey, you know all those apps where they're like, hey, do you like using this app, and you click no because you don't want to do it now? Well, this is different. You could do it for us, and you will be even funnier the next episode.
Yes.
Like how funny I am right now. I'll be even funnier.
Just comment how funny do you want chat?
Yeah,
Scale 1 to 10.
Yeah, just like even put a number in the comment. Just be like, hey, 5. And I was like, okay, I could be a 5 next episode. And is it out of 5 or is it 5 out of 10? I don't know.
We don't know, and we don't know what a 5
really
looks
sure.
like in Chad's head. So
I'm not sure what that means.
we don't know if he's at a 2 right now. So this could be fun.
Did I have
everyone.
a drink or am I pretty sober right now? We don't know.
We definitely don't know.
No.
We don't know day to day.
How did I get to your house? I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Anyway. Anyway, as we say, enter the Nerdom, exit the what?
The ramen.
I mean, I was gonna go like a plane theme, but
sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean now it's ruined.
No. Go ahead.
Just like the pleasant quiet of my dorm room. It's been ruined. So, all right, bye everybody.